Hey, what's going on, guys? I am here to talk to you about the new MCU film, Eternals. So, I saw Eternals last night, early screening at the AMC IMAX Empire 25. And I gotta say, it was surprisingly good. Just letting y'all know, I'm gonna get into spoilers. I don't care. I have to talk about this. I'm gonna get into spoilers. So if you feel some type of way about that, leave now. But yeah, anyway, I thought that this movie was gonna just be a diversity superhero checklist film. Like I saw the trailers, I wasn't really that interested. I'm like, what is this? And I didn't know much about the characters anyway, but I know that like most of the characters are race bent, gender bent, you know, and I was like, what is this? But I gotta say, when I watched the movie, there is a gay character in it, but it's completely fine. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Like it feels organic. It doesn't feel forced. Like it feels natural. Like and there's a kiss he has with his husband. Is good. It's good. I don't think people should make a big deal about it. It's very organic in the film, and there's man, there's it's dense. There's so much shit in it, and I'm like, wow, this is this is really good, and I really wasn't expecting much from it. And I heard people say it doesn't feel like a Marvel film, and it really doesn't. It really does not. If you took the references away and you just put it as it is, you wouldn't know what company it would be for, to be honest. And people that would argue that says that it does feel like a Marvel film. You're only saying that because of the superhero actionness. It feels like a superhero movie, but it does not feel like a Marvel movie at all. And maybe that's because I don't know much about the characters. Maybe that's because the characters aren't well known. Maybe if they were well known, it would definitely feel like it. But it 100% does not feel like a Marvel movie at all. Yes, there's some comedy bits. There's definitely feels like superhero moments ish, but definitely not a Marvel film. It doesn't feel like it. Blade is I am 100% certain Blade's voice was heard in the last post credit scene. I wanted to say it out loud in the theater, but people were talking and I didn't want to seem like a crazy person. But I know for a fact, I know Mahershala Ali's voice. I know his voice. That was definitely Blade. Um, Makari, I wish they did more. Like I wish the camera would linger more on her speed. Like they would give you like a quick taste of it and then they would go pan away somewhere else. I loved her speed in this. Um Kingo was hilarious. Kumail Nanjiani's character, he was funny. Like there was no joke that he did that didn't land. It was great. Um there's a sex scene in this, guys. There's there's oh man, there's like a really uh there's a sex scene. It's long enough for you to know that it's a sex scene, but it's short enough for you not to see any like titties or ass. But it's there. You see it. And there's thrust in it, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I never thought I would ever see this in an MCU film. I mean, we saw it in Jessica Jones and stuff like that. A whole like it was way more intense than what they showed in Eternals. But the fact that you see it in a MCU movie, it's kind of shocking. It kind of took me off guard. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? What? What is? Am I in the right movie? Um, but that's good. I like that. First you had What If, taking a more darker route, and now you have like people fucking in Eternals, and it's starting. I see Marvel understands its criticism that it's getting for it being like, oh, it's too happy, it's too colorful, blah blah blah, and they're taking a page out of DC's notebook, and maybe that's why this originally got like a low rating on Rotten Tomatoes because critics love MCU happy films, but they can't take like serious dark stuff or something like they want something to take them out of their depression, not dive them into it. Maybe that's why they're so cranky about Eternals, but I loved it. I love Eternals, and it was if it was a diversity checklist movie, they did it the best possible way ever. This is how you should do it. I would say this is how it's done. The action was plentiful. Like people, like it is. I would say it is the thinking man's Marvel movie. I would say that, but even so, there's still plenty of action to keep you full. Um, and it's so interesting, like, because I heard people kind of compare it to Dune, and it's like this is still more action packed than Dune. Dune is more slower pace, and Eternals is the most slower pace out of all the MCU movies. But I would not compare those two. I mean, there's no, yeah, I wouldn't compare those two at all. So I don't, it's slower than all the other MCU movies, but there's still a lot of like spectacle in it. The mythology is there, the Icarus is badass. The film starts off like a high school girl or a college girl fan fiction. Like, oh, this character is like someone who only loved Harry Potter films and stuff like that, and then just was told, okay, now make superheroes. That's what it kind of feels like fan fictiony, but it's so much depth, even to the characters that don't get much time. Like everyone has depth, and it's really impressive. It feels like an anime a little bit, like just not in like visuals or anything, but the way like the characters act and talk, like it feels like an anime ish. Like, we have to work together. Where is he? We gotta find him because we need everyone to stop the villain and blah blah. It just sort of feels like, but it's not bad. It's not a bad thing at all. It's just apparent to me. Um, what else? Yeah, there's oh man, it's so much to talk about in this damn movie. I don't even know where to begin or end, but it's great. Eternals is great. Fastos' powers is my favorite. Kingo is my favorite character. Icarus is the most badass. I love Makari. Angelina Jolie, she has Alzheimer's in this movie, but they have like a cool name for it. But she's basically a super old woman, basically. So, but she has Alzheimer's, and she constantly forgets things. But she's badass. She's a badass. There was one moment where I'm thinking she's gonna freaking die, but no, it's the villains that should be afraid of her. It was amazing. It was a great scene. Um, I don't. I did say I was gonna say spoilers, but I don't want to spoil too much because like the more I'm talking about it, I'm like, okay, no, people should really find out for themselves. I won't tell you about the first post credit scene because my theater went nuts over it, like ape shit over it. Uh the villains are very one dimensional, but the characters, all the main characters, are very. They're I would say they're four dimensional. Actually, that's how much depth they have. Go see it, man. This is definitely this for like the Bible. This for like the Bible before for MCU. Go watch Eternals. Yeah.